Hello and welcome to the second episode of Stupid Cycle Lanes. Apologies for the delay. One or two life matters have got in the way of late, mainly a lot of work, which is a good thing, but not so good for cycling and for doing these videos. Anyway, today we're going to have a look at the Fallowfield Loop, which is the name given to what used to be a railway that ran around the south of Manchester, which is now a cycle lane. So, here we are. This is pretty much what the Fallowfield Loop looks like to anyone using it. You can see pedestrians and dog walkers and people like that also using it, but for the most part it's actually pretty good. The surface is a little bit wobbly. It's not really laid to the sort of standards you'd see on a new road or a motorway, but as old railway lines go, I'd say it's actually pretty good. It's massive and wide. There's a few crossover points like that, so people can get on and off easily from their local area. Lots of interesting things to see, all these nice railway tunnels and bits of old infrastructure. That's great, but there are a few problems with it, and I'm going to show you some of them in this video. For me, the most annoying problem with this cycle route are these stupid things here. I don't know why councils spend all this money on such great infrastructure, pretty much exclusively for cyclists, and then do their very best to make it annoying for cyclists to use them. I know they're trying to keep people on motorbikes and cars and other vehicles like that off, but really, isn't that the job of the police? I mean, there are lots of uninsured drivers on the roads, and we don't sort of erect brick walls and put bollards in the middle of the roads, do we? We sort of send the police out there to catch them and pull them over and get them off the roads. So I don't quite understand why we can't do the same with cycle lanes. There's quite a lot of those barriers around. Not too many on this section, but you'll see later on in the video, you'll see more of them making an appearance. And there were a few behind me as well. I'm kind of travelling west on this route at the moment. This is an interruption in the Fallowfield Loop. There's a big Sainsbury's supermarket that's kind of in the way. Now, I believe when they first designed this that they put a tunnel down the left-hand side and it's hidden under there somewhere. Apparently somebody didn't like it, or there was one or two sharp turns for whatever reason. Anyway, it's been blocked off, and as a result, the designers had to come up with some sort of alternative, and this is what they came up with, which is, well, it's not ideal. It's it's still off the road, and you don't have to sort of argue your way around cars and other people. But there are lots of pedestrians coming down here, and often they're on the wrong side. And now I'm on the wrong side because of yet another one of these silly barriers. I can kind of understand why that one's there. It's to slow people down and stop them coming at warp speed down the hill. But it could have been done a little bit better, I think. But this is the really confusing part about this section now. I mean, that's not ideal there, but you have to cross this road here to continue along the line of the railway. And look at this. I've never managed to figure out what I'm supposed to do here. According to the letter of the law, I should either stay on the left or the right of these signs. I'm not allowed to ignore them. But I don't want to go left or right. I want to go straight on, which actually I'm allowed to do, because this is a cycle crossing here. You can see the little cycle icon up there. Here's another bad part of the design. I don't know who gets paid to do these kind of layouts. I don't know, they're obviously being paid too much in my opinion. I mean, I wasn't even looking at the road there. I was basically looking out for pedestrians and cars and things like that, and I actually ended up going the wrong way down the cycle lane. I ignored the give way part. Yeah, it's not ideal, and believe it or not, it's actually even more confusing if you're going the other way. It's just, it's not a particularly good piece of infrastructure there, and I would advise anybody who's not familiar with the area or this route, probably just to get off the bike and walk it across. It's a lot simpler. Anyway, we don't have to go too far on the roads before we get back on the Fallowfield Loop. Or we try and get back on the Fallowfield Loop, but there's a van, United Utilities, I think. Yeah, United Utilities is very kindly parked on the dropped curb on the pavement. I've no idea why. It's a massive road. There's no reason for him to go on the pavement. It's just sheer laziness, I think. And he's blocking the entrance back onto the cycle lane. I actually complained to United Utilities about that, and credit to them. I believe they spoke to the driver and just asked him not to do it again. Anyway, it's a little bit annoying, but it's one of those things that, as a cyclist, you have to deal with. So we're back on the railway now, and again, open sections like this are actually pretty nice. You can get a good, bit of speed up on there. I probably was doing between 20 and 25 miles an hour until I got to more barriers. There they are, and more barriers, and more barriers. These are just really, really annoying. I mean, for somebody like me who's able-bodied and on a traditional bicycle, it's not too bad. But if you're a wheelchair user, or if you ride a recumbent or a tricycle, you've got no chance of getting through them. I don't know how people on wheelchairs manage to get through them. I don't know. You may have seen some cycle storage there. This is one of the Metrolink stations, a brand new Metrolink station actually, in Chorlton. There's one of the exits there that goes up onto, can't quite remember the name of the road, but you can sort of cycle up there, and there's a bit of a tight turn at the top and get up onto one of the main roads, but I'm going this way. Now actually you're supposed to dismount here, and I completely understand why they've put these barriers here and made it a tight little turn. I cycled across here, which is naughty of me, but I couldn't actually fit my bike through this little section. I understand why they've done that. You don't want people barreling across the railway and getting hit by a tram. That would be pretty tragic. You also don't want to hit pedestrians coming around here. And this is they could have done that a little bit better, I think. Take it slow. Back onto the wonderful sort of surface of the moon style roads of Chorlton, which for those of you who don't know is sort of southwest Manchester. So I would probably give the Fallowfield loop maybe 8 out of 10 for effort. It's not perfect, but if you want to get across from Chorlton to Gorton, let's say, or anywhere over in that direction, it's probably the best way to get across Manchester. And you only have to go on the road once, and it's a pretty quiet road. So, good effort.